If you've been navigating the NCR housing market lately, you know the drill. You're constantly flooded with these glossy, beautiful brochures for, well, distant future promises, right? But what if we could just bypass that whole waiting game entirely? Today, we're doing the ultimate real estate reality check. In this explainer, we're breaking down a really fascinating source that argues the smartest investors and homebuyers out there are actually shifting their focus away from blueprints and towards something much, much more tangible. We're going to explore the really compelling case for ready-to-move flats in Ghaziabad, specifically zooming in on the Moti city development in Modinagar, just to understand exactly why immediate possession is totally changing the rules of the game.
Which brings us to a pretty powerful question. Why buy promises when you can buy reality? I mean, it perfectly validates that frustration so many buyers feel. We've all heard those absolute horror stories, haven't we? Delayed projects, your capital tied up for years, just crossing your fingers and waiting for a developer to finally deliver. Well, our source material today positions Moti City Modinagar not as some distant dream slated for 2028 or whatever, but as a premium lifestyle solution that's available today. It really challenges you to reevaluate what you're actually paying for. Are you buying a theoretical concept, or are you buying a physical asset you can actually experience right now?
So let's dive right into promises versus reality.
There is just a stark, undeniable contrast between these two models. On one hand, you have the traditional under-construction model. The source highlights the severe, literal anxieties tied to this. Uncertain delivery dates, the very real risk of construction delays, and honestly that dreaded ghost town scenario where you might actually move in, but literally none of the surrounding infrastructure is finished. Pitted directly against that is the ready-to-move reality. With immediate possession, your construction risk drops to absolute zero. You aren't just hoping the premium finishes look good, you can literally walk right in, touch the walls, and see exactly what you're paying for with 100% confidence. You're buying into a community that is already alive and kicking.
Which brings us to the ready-to-move advantage.
So how exactly does the source define this advantage? Well, ready-to-move flats are fully completed apartments that buyers can immediately occupy right after purchase. The absolute keyword here is completed. It offers zero construction delay. And this definition completely grounds our understanding because it entirely removes the speculative nature of buying real estate. You have the right and the ability to inspect the actual physical property before you sign a single document. It essentially shifts the power dynamic heavily back to you, the buyer, ensuring that the premium lifestyle you were promised is the exact premium lifestyle you get on day one.
Next up, let's look at the 10-minute connectivity rule.
10. It's a simple number, sure, but according to our source, it is the absolute defining rule of Moti City's connectivity. They call it the 10-minute advantage. See, you are exactly 10 minutes away from the expressway, which gives you the seamless access to the wider region. Plus, you're just 10 minutes away from the operational rapid rail, the RRTS. Notice I said operational. This isn't some planned transit hub on a blueprint, it is running today. In real estate, time is money, and this 10-minute buffer ensures you're insulated from the chaos of the city while still remaining deeply, deeply connected to it.
Let's unpack what that 10-minute rule actually unlocks for you. This level of connectivity means you can commute to major economic engines, places like Delhi, Noida, or Meerut, in minutes, not hours. And a huge facilitator of this is Moti City's strategic location right on a massive 200-foot-wide master plan road. If you're a professional, this specific infrastructure drastically cuts down your daily commute, saving you precious time and, obviously, money. And if you're an investor, well, this kind of frictionless connectivity virtually guarantees incredibly high rental demand from those very same working professionals. It's a win-win.
Now, while our source focuses pretty heavily on the incredible setup at Moti City in Modinagar, we should definitely know that this ready-to-move advantage applies across the entire region. The source actually lists several other highly sought-after areas in Ghaziabad where this exact strategy is super effective. We're talking locations like Indirapuram, Rajnagar Extension, Vaishali, Vasundhara, and Crossings Republic. They're all prime targets for buyers who just want that immediate possession. Ghaziabad as a whole offers a huge range of options, from budget-friendly spots to ultra-premium flats, making this a really widely applicable strategy.
Okay, let's talk about a living, breathing community.
Like we mentioned earlier, absolutely nothing speaks to the quality of a project quite like the people actually living inside it. And that brings us to a massive reassurance for buyers. There is zero ghost town risk here. Unlike so many new developments that can just stand eerily empty for years while the developer desperately tries to sell off the remaining units, Moti City is already populated. Families have moved in, the lights are quite literally on. It's a thriving, highly secure, gated environment where your neighbors are already waiting to welcome you. Having that built-in population provides this immediate sense of safety and community that a hollow, empty concrete shell just cannot give you.
And beyond just the people, it's also about the physical environment itself. Our source really emphasizes that these high-rise apartments are specifically designed to be a lush green sanctuary. You're basically escaping the concrete jungle and all that urban congestion to actually wake up to fresh air and wide-open views. It's an environment tailored to promote a genuinely healthier way of life, turning the property from just, a set of four walls into a proper retreat. And honestly, that's a luxury that is becoming increasingly difficult to find in deeply congested city centers these days.
All right, let's get into the numbers with the financial edge.
This essentially builds a rock-solid financial case for both homeowners and investors, and it relies on three main pillars. First, your construction risk is reduced to absolutely zero. What you see is exactly what you get, no surprises. Second, because the property is actually ready, your return on investment is immediate. You can either stop paying your own rent and move right in, or instantly place a tenant and start collecting that rental income on day one. And finally, the financing. The source confirms that home loans are readily, easily available for ready-to-move properties. It makes it highly accessible to finance your purchase without having to jump through all those complex, agonizing hoops typically tied to under-construction projects.
But keep in mind, this financial edge isn't just about immediate returns, it's also heavily about long-term growth. The text really urges buyers to capitalize on Ghaziabad's rapidly improving infrastructure right now. Between the fully operational RRTS and those massive 200-foot-wide master plan roads, the connectivity is literally only getting better. So the core advice from the source is simple. Lock in your investment before these major infrastructure milestones inevitably drive property prices even higher. You're buying a completed, tangible asset in a highly appreciating area.
Which brings us to the source's powerful verdict, beautifully captured right here. The 200-foot-wide road is ready. The rapid rail is running. The families are living. The only thing missing is you. I mean, that perfectly sums up the entire value proposition, doesn't it? Every tangible piece of a premium lifestyle and every single pillar of a smart, secure investment is already physically in place. There's no waiting around, there's no guessing.
So that leaves us with one final, pretty provocative question to consider as we wrap up this explainer. Take a hard look at your own investment strategy. Are you still funding a developer's uncertain future, crossing your fingers and hoping for a delivery date years from now? Or are you ready to take control, totally eliminate the risk, and invest in your own reality today? When the roads, the rail, and the community are already built and waiting for you, the choice between a promise and a reality becomes incredibly clear. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer.